Why have more than 100 people vanished without a trace in the middle of the ocean? Part 1. The door that cannot be deciphered. In the vast heart of the ocean, where the boundary between reality and the unknown is as thin as a veil of mist, lies a stretch of sea that has forced humanity to bow in absolute helplessness. A place where modern science, elite military forces, advanced aviation technology, and even religious faith have all failed to offer explanations. A seemingly harmless coordinate on the world map, yet the moment its name is spoken, many feel a chill run down their spine. The Bermuda Triangle. 3 points, Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda, connect to form a triangular region that appears ordinary from afar. But beneath those layers of gentle waves lie hundreds of unexplained disappearances, thousands of lives swallowed into nothingness, and countless ships and aircraft that simply vanished without a rational trace. People call it the death zone of the modern world. Not because the waters here are rougher than anywhere else, but because it possesses something no one can fully explain: absolute abnormality. The type of disturbance that causes navigation systems to malfunction, compasses to spin uncontrollably, and even the most skilled pilots and sailors to lose their direction, never to return. Many have attempted to search for answers. Scientists, historians, military teams, naval experts, UFO researchers, and even survivors, all proposing their own theories. From electromagnetic disturbances, magnetic pole reversals, methane hydrate eruptions beneath the seafloor, to wormholes, remnants of Atlantean technology, or the hands of extraterrestrials. Yet, all these theories remain thin veils covering an enormous darkness that humanity still lacks the light to penetrate. The 21st century has entered an era overflowing with technological wonders, yet the Bermuda Triangle remains a fracture in human understanding, an unresolved mystery. Blurred zone few dare to venture into. A forbidden space without fences, yet powerful enough to silence gigantic vessels as they pass through. A gateway to an unknown destination, constantly reminding us that what we know about this world is still far too little. Today's video is not a conclusion. It is a journey back through time, to listen to ancient records, to revisit radio transmissions from the 1940s, to hear the final signals before everything faded into silence. And above all, a journey into the truth, or at least the fragments of truth left behind before being swallowed by the void. Part 2. The most mysterious disappearances in history. Imagine a highly trained military squadron, flying in ideal weather conditions, performing a simple training mission they had done dozens of times before, and yet, just over an hour after takeoff, they collectively lost their bearings, reported instrument malfunctions, and then silence. No one returned. This is the most famous incident in the history of the Bermuda Triangle, Flight 19. On December 5, 1945, 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers departed from Fort Lauderdale Naval Air Station in Florida. Leading the flight was Lieutenant Charles Carroll Taylor, a seasoned pilot with Pacific War combat experience. The mission was routine, simple, almost mundane. Many considered it a basic navigation exercise, but shortly after takeoff, everything spiraled out of control. Lieutenant Taylor began sending frantic messages back to base. His compass had stopped working. He didn't know where he was. Other pilots reported the same issue. The radio signals weakened. Their words became fragmented. Then came the final transmission. "We're running low on fuel. We may have to ditch in the sea." Immediately, a rescue seeker, the PBM Mariner, was dispatched with 13 crew members on board. But just 20 minutes after takeoff, it too vanished. A nearby tanker crew reported seeing a massive fireball in the sky, followed by an explosion, yet no wreckage was ever recovered. What followed was one of the largest search operations in history. Over 300 ships and aircraft combed more than 500,000 square kilometers of ocean. And yet, they found nothing. No debris, no bodies, no equipment, just silence. An entire squadron and a rescue team. 27 men gone as if they had never existed. Nearly 30 years earlier, in 1918, another colossal disappearance occurred. The USS Cyclones, the largest fuel ship in the U.S. Navy at the time, vanished without a trace with 306 people aboard. Strangely, the ship never sent a distress signal. There were no storms, no signs of danger, no mechanical warnings. It simply left Brazil and never arrived in Baltimore. a fully equipped ship with an experienced crew erased from existence. From 1945 onward, disappearance cases in the Bermuda Triangle surged. Commercial planes, cruise ships, cargo vessels, all reported sudden compass failures, communication loss, disorientation, and final silence before vanishing. In some cases, fishing boats disappeared and were found years later drifting ashore. No crew on board, belongings untouched, clocks stopped at the exact hour of disappearance, as if time itself had frozen. The stories became more frequent, the deaths more bizarre. Yet no one can answer the ultimate question: why only Bermuda? And if it is truly dangerous, what exactly is the force behind this danger? Nếu bạn muốn, mình có thể biên tập lại theo giọng narrator điện ảnh để đọc trong video rút gọn theo ý CEO YouTube. Tạo thumbnail 16/9, text Bermuda Triangle. Viết tiếp phần 3, các giả thuyết khoa học and siêu hình. Viết kịch bản full 10-20 phút theo phong cách kênh bí ẩn. Bạn muốn tiếp tục theo hướng nào? Part 5, The Hidden Power of the Ocean. When science fails to provide a definitive answer, human imagination begins to fill in the voids. And in Bermuda, those voids are too vast, too dark, too silent to simply be labeled as normal. This is why supernatural theories have flourished, not merely as fantasies, but as desperate attempts to interpret the unknown. They are not just stories, they are echoes of the unexplainable, the fearful dreams of humanity as we stare into a doorway without knowing what lies behind it. The first and most commonly mentioned theory is the anomaly of magnetic fields. Many believe that within the Bermuda Triangle exists a strange distortion where the Earth's magnetic field clashes with gravitational anomalies deep beneath the ocean. This disturbance may cause navigation devices, compasses, GPS, radar, to malfunction or shut down entirely. Without direction, without coordinates, aircraft and ships entering this magnetic core seem to rely solely on instinct, or fall into complete chaos, as if traveling through an invisible magnetic map. And then, they vanish. Another theory, far more audacious, proposes that Bermuda is one of Earth's space-time gateways, where dimensions intersect. In a single moment, an aircraft could be pulled into an invisible corridor, pushed into an alternate reality. One where humans do not exist and time does not flow in a linear fashion. Survivor testimonies strengthen this idea. Some spoke of being stretched, of clocks running backward, of time freezing. A few returned after only hours, yet official records showed they had disappeared for several days. Such paradoxes defy logic, unless there truly was a collision between time and space. Then comes the famous UFO hypothesis. According to many researchers of unexplained phenomena, the Bermuda Triangle may serve as an underwater observation station for extraterrestrials. They may come from distant star systems, use this region as a testing ground, abduct ships and aircraft, and then leave without a trace. Various radar recordings and maritime security footage capture strange lights moving at impossible speeds, making sharp directional changes far beyond human technology. Some conspiracy theories even claim Bermuda is part of an extraterrestrial surveillance network, and all who enter become randomly selected test subjects. We cannot ignore the symbolic yet popular theory of Atlantis. The mythical city described by Plato, once a center of advanced civilization, was said to have sunk due to divine punishment or natural disaster. Many believe the Bermuda Triangle sits atop its remains, and that remnants of Atlantean technology still operate deep beneath the sea. Some researchers claim to have discovered geometric structures, pyramid-like shapes or massive stone corridors, on the ocean floor. They argue these might be ancient machines designed to manipulate the Earth's energy grids, and their instability may be responsible for creating lethal zones like Bermuda. Others propose that Bermuda is not a physical anomaly, but a spiritual one, a thin point in Earth's consciousness network, a place where perception becomes distorted, where the mind loses orientation. In such a maze, instinct becomes the only guide, and instinct alone cannot battle supernatural forces. Science may dismiss these theories, but the real issue remains. No one has the evidence to disprove them either, because those who entered that doorway never returned. Or if they did, they were no longer who they once were. Part 4. Scientific analysis. When logic attempts to unravel the illogical. In a world increasingly governed by scientific reasoning, mysteries like the Bermuda Triangle become the most challenging tests of human logic. No one wants to believe that an invisible force exists in the ocean. Yet, the deeper researchers investigate Bermuda's disappearances, the more the events appear designed, not by humans, but by something beyond our current understanding. Still, science does not step aside. If Bermuda is unique, it must first be tested through natural laws. One commonly cited explanation is magnetic declination, the difference between magnetic north and true north. Most places on Earth have a degree of deviation between the two, requiring compass correction. However, the Bermuda region is among the rare areas where magnetic north and true north occasionally align perfectly. When this occurs, compasses point straight with no natural deviation, causing untrained navigators to misread their direction. But the alignment is unstable, changing with Earth's magnetic cycles, and this instability itself creates further confusion. Beyond magnetism, another major factor is the Gulf Stream, one of the strongest ocean currents on the planet. With surface speeds up to 2.5 meters per second, it acts like a massive river flowing through the ocean. If an aircraft crashes or a ship sinks, the Gulf Stream can scatter debris, bodies, and equipment hundreds of kilometers within hours. In darkness, storms, or rough seas, recovery becomes nearly impossible. A more serious candidate is the phenomenon of rogue waves, giant, unpredictable waves that appear suddenly, often 2 or 3 times higher than surrounding waves. Though they last only minutes, their force is enough to flip massive cargo ships. Bermuda's location, where wind patterns and wave systems collide, is ideal for the formation of rogue waves. This could explain why some ships vanished without sending an SOS. They had no time. Another scientifically evaluated theory involves methane hydrate explosions. Large quantities of methane gas are trapped under sediments on the seafloor. When triggered by rising temperatures or seismic activity, these pockets can erupt violently. When methane rapidly bubbles to the surface, it reduces water density, causing ships to lose buoyancy and sink almost instantly. Experiments prove that a massive methane bubble can destabilize a ship within seconds. Bermuda lies at the convergence of several tectonic plates, making such releases plausible. Yet, despite all these explanations, none fully accounts for every disappearance. Some cases match ocean currents, others match magnetism, others match rogue waves, but many occurred in calm weather, with modern equipment, experienced pilots. Yet, they still vanished. This paradox forces science to confront its own limits. Like a doctor watching a patient collapse while every test shows normal, the only conclusion is we still lack the data to know what truly happened. The silence itself is a challenge. Part 5. Modern Science Strikes Back, the Counterarguments. If there's one constant among mysterious phenomena, it's this: as imagination rises, science pulls it back down. The Bermuda Triangle is no exception. For decades, it has been sensationalized by media, books, movies, conspiracy theories, and late-night conversations. But to empirical researchers, Bermuda is not a supernatural abyss. It is simply a region where a series of unrelated incidents were exaggerated into legend. The most outspoken advocate of this view is Australian scientist Carl Kruszelnicki, renowned for decoding mysteries on international television, argues that Bermuda does not have an unusually high disappearance rate. Instead, it is a classic example of confirmation bias, where people remember dramatic events that support a pre-existing belief. He cites data from Lloyd's of London, one of the largest maritime insurance companies in the world. According to their records, insurance premiums for vessels crossing the Bermuda Triangle are no higher than for other regions with similar traffic density. If Bermuda were truly dangerous, premiums would be much higher, but they aren't. The U.S. Coast Guard also repeatedly confirmed that disappearance rates in Bermuda are within normal range given the enormous traffic volume. Being near major economic hubs like Florida, Bermuda is one of the busiest maritime regions on Earth, where accidents, statistically, are inevitable. Kruszelnicki emphasizes human error as the primary cause behind many incidents. In the case of Flight 19, he notes several inconsistencies. Lieutenant Charles Taylor had a history of getting lost during flights. On 2 previous missions, he had to make emergency landings due to disorientation. On December 5, 1945, he arrived 19 minutes late, visibly anxious, and reportedly asked to be excused from the mission. Radio transcripts also show disputes among pilots regarding heading direction. Junior pilots suggested turning west toward the base, while Taylor insisted they were over the Gulf of Mexico and should fly northeast instead. This decision pushed the entire squadron farther into open ocean, where fuel eventually ran out. The rescue aircraft, a PBM Mariner, had a known history of fuel tank explosions. Witnesses reported a fireball in the sky, consistent with an onboard detonation rather than a supernatural disappearance. And the lack of wreckage? Normal. The region is deep, and the Gulf Stream disperses debris quickly. Still, science acknowledges some cases remain unexplained, but it insists we separate data from emotion. When media narratives, human fear, and mass psychology combine, even ordinary events can become legendary. In fact, no verified scientific study has ever detected supernatural anomalies in Bermuda. No abnormal magnetic readings, no gravitational distortions. Modern aircraft, satellites, and submarines pass through daily without incident. Yet, as Crucial Nikki puts it, if one of the world's busiest shipping lanes experiences a few hundred accidents over a century, that is statistically normal. The only thing abnormal is our imagination. And the question that remains, does our imagination pull us away from the truth? Or is it lifting a corner of a curtain that science simply hasn't caught up to yet? Nếu bạn muốn, bạn có thể viết tiếp phần 6. Tiếp luôn viên ảnh đối mở ám ảnh, tối ưu lại toàn bộ 5 phần thành kịch bản video 20-30 phút. Tạo thumbnail 16 với 9 chữ Bermuda Triangle, The Ocean Secret Gateway. Viết lời dẫn narrator giọng bí ẩn trầm cinematic. Bạn muốn làm tiếp gì? Part 6, Media, When Mystery Turns into Legend. Over the past centuries, few natural phenomena have possessed such persistent allure and wide-reaching influence that they almost become part of popular culture the way the Bermuda Triangle has. If scientists spend their entire lives trying to give explanations, the media needs only a name, a sensational headline, and a few haunting opening lines to turn Bermuda into a symbol of fear that goes beyond rational thought. The term Bermuda Triangle was first widely popularized in 1964 in an article by writer Vincent Gaddis, published in Argosy magazine. In it, he described the waters between Miami, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda as an area where ships and planes disappear without a trace. The article immediately stirred a wave of controversy and curiosity. From then on, Bermuda was no longer just a geographic name. It became the name of a story. 10 years later, in 1974, author Charles Berlitz, famous for his works on mysterious phenomena, published the book The Bermuda Triangle. The book quickly became a global sensation, selling more than 20 million copies and being translated into over 30 languages. Berlitz didn't just list mysterious disappearances. He skillfully intertwined theories about UFOs, Atlantis, space portals, and supernatural forces. He didn't need evidence. What he needed was a space where imagination could operate without limits. And it was precisely this blend of real events and the ambiguity of legend that completely enchanted the public. From that point on, Bermuda became a recurring motif in cinema, video games, science fiction literature, and even contemporary art. Steven Spielberg's 1977 film Close Encounters of the Third Kind referenced Bermuda as a place where extraterrestrials collect pilots. Video games like Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, and Call of Duty have all, at some point, mentioned or been inspired by this region to build mysterious, suspenseful settings for their missions. Even disappearances that have nothing to do with Bermuda have been unconsciously labeled as part of it. For example, the case of the ship Mary Celeste, found off the Azores with no one on board but all belongings intact, though not actually within the Bermuda Triangle, is still frequently listed among Bermuda cases because of its eerie nature. That is how the media works. It doesn't need geographical precision. It only needs a symbol strong enough to evoke feelings of doubt, fear, and fascination. Documentary filmmakers have not missed their chance either. Countless shows like Ancient Aliens, Unsolved Mysteries, National Geographic, and History Channel have devoted full episodes to Bermuda, with deep, low narrations, gloomy visuals, and chilling background music. More than enough to make viewers feel as if they are standing before a living entity in the ocean, rather than just a set of coordinates on a map. It is precisely this media effect that makes every maritime accident near Bermuda, from minor incidents to full disappearances, immediately linked to the Bermuda Curse. the resonance between fact and imagination, between journalism and literature, between cinema and historical memory, has turned the Bermuda Triangle into one of the most famous mysteries on the planet, despite the lack of solid scientific evidence proving it is more unusual than other seas. The irony is this: it is science's very denial that makes the Bermuda legend even more enticing. Because the more the truth is forced into numbers and charts, the more people tend to believe that something is being hidden. Partly due to an instinctive skepticism, partly because humans always tend to search for miracles in a world that has become too ordinary. And so, each generation grows up with its own version of Bermuda, a place not clearly defined, yet always present somewhere in the mind. A gateway hidden beneath the waves, where people still quietly ask, if I pass through there, will I ever return? Part 7. The dark patches that remain. Mysteries that cannot be denied. Even though science has produced statistics asserting that Bermuda is no more dangerous than other seas, and maritime experts have worked hard to show that every disappearance can be explained by currents, weather, or technical errors, there are still dark patches that cannot simply be erased. No one denies the role of the media in painting fear, but conversely, no one dares to say with certainty that it is all fabrication. Because if things were that simple, there wouldn't be so many people refusing to accept such normality. One of the hardest things to explain is the simultaneous loss of signals across all navigation and communication systems. Not just one device, but many pilots in different incidents have reported compasses spinning wildly, GPS unable to determine position, radios heavily jammed or suddenly shutting down, while those devices were functioning perfectly just moments ago. You must understand that for modern aircraft or warships, total loss of all signals does not happen randomly, unless there is some large-scale external interference or a physical transformation that has never been identified. And it's not just the devices. People are strangely affected too. In rare cases of survivors returning from the edges of the Bermuda region, they reported time distortion, extreme loss of orientation, and the sensation that the surrounding space became blurry. Movements slowed, and clocks were off by hours compared to actual time. These descriptions cannot be dismissed lightly because they align with what is described in physics theories about time dilation under the influence of strong gravitational fields, something previously recorded only near black holes or in extreme physical environments. The question is, why would similar phenomena appear in a stretch of ocean? Another detail that cannot be denied: many disappearances leave no trace at all. No wreckage, no emitted signals, no oil slick, no sign whatsoever that the object ever existed. Given the ideal conditions of modern rescue systems and seabed scanning technology, the failure to find any remains at all is abnormal. A crashed aircraft, whether it explodes or sinks, must leave at least part of an engine, a section of fuselage, or an emergency beacon. But no, what is left is only emptiness, absolute and chilling. There are also cases that disturb investigators to the point of unease. A small boat disappears in the Bermuda region for 2 full months, then suddenly reappears near the coast of Florida, intact, showing no signs of collision, but with no one on board. The clock on the boat stopped at the exact time it was reported missing. Half-eaten meals remained on the table. The atmosphere felt as if time had frozen at the final moment of life. No blood, no signs of struggle, no drama, only an eerie stillness, as if everyone on board had simultaneously vanished. What could make an entire group of people disappear at the same time without any sign of panic, accident, or incident? Even in cases of piracy or armed assault, there would still be signs of struggle, resistance, or movement. But here, there is nothing, as if those people had never existed. Such cases continue to be reported sporadically over the decades. Some pilots flying into the Bermuda region have reported feeling as though they were flying through a tunnel of clouds, with no beginning and no end, where the light constantly shifted. Some sailors claim they heard strange sounds rising from the depths of the ocean, a deep, rhythmic tone unlike any natural sound ever done. From these observations, some non-mainstream researchers have proposed that Bermuda is not geographically dangerous, but is instead a reality-cutting event. In other words, a region of space where layers of existence intersect. And in some rare fleeting moment, humans might slip into another dimension without ever realizing it. This is no longer classical science. This is quantum physics, multiverse theory, parallel dimensions. It sounds far-fetched, but if we consider the pace at which modern physics is evolving, this possibility is not entirely excluded. And so, to this very day, even after thousands of investigations, millions of dollars poured into research, and tons of books published, Bermuda remains a dark dot on humanity's cognitive map, a blank space not yet filled in, a gateway without a clearly defined border. If there truly is a secret hidden here, then perhaps it is this. Silence does not mean nothing is happening. It may mean that what is happening is so immense that every instrument, every theory, and every will falls silent along with it. Part 8, the shoreline between reality and nothingness. There are places on Earth whose significance cannot be captured by a map. Places with no borders, no territorial markers, no flags fluttering in the wind, no armies standing guard. Yet they make all of humanity hesitate whenever their names are spoken. The Bermuda Triangle is one of those places. It needs no war, no violence, no drops of blood to instill fear. The only thing it needs is disappearance. And the most terrifying part is not the vanished ships, nor the aircraft that fall without leaving a trace. It is the absolute helplessness of human beings. Helpless before the silence of the ocean. Helpless before the final, broken radio signals. Helpless as hundreds of skilled, experienced, disciplined individuals vanish as if they had never existed. Helpless when advanced technology, brilliant physical theories, and modern navigation systems fail to illuminate the darkness hanging between three seemingly harmless points on the map. The Bermuda Triangle is not merely a patch of water. It is a symbol of the limits of knowledge, of human smallness in the face of nature and the universe. It is a reminder that even if we set foot on the moon, plant instruments on Mars, build space stations orbiting Earth, there are still oceans right here on our own planet that we do not understand. Perhaps Bermuda is nothing special. Perhaps everything is coincidence. A chain of unrelated events stitched together by imagination and media craftsmanship. A product of collective belief. A phenomenon magnified through generations until it became a living legend. But even in that scenario, even if Bermuda is the greatest hoax of the century, it still possesses a power no debunking can erase, because it touches the deepest vulnerability of humanity, the fear of what we do not know. The modern world is drenched in light, streetlights, screens, satellites, digital data, radar, sensors. Yet just a stretch of turquoise water, a gentle roll of waves, is enough to render all that light meaningless. That darkness is not merely physical. It is the darkness of doubt, of unanswered questions, of secrets buried deep beneath the ocean, or deeper still, within our own minds. The Bermuda Triangle may indeed be a doorway, but where that doorway leads, no one knows. Perhaps to another realm of space, perhaps to a parallel dimension, perhaps it is a mirror reflecting humanity's greatest fears. Or perhaps it is simply the ocean whispering about something we are not yet ready to understand. Thank you for traveling the world of ancient mysteries on the final journey into the enigma of the Bermuda Triangle. If this story touched something within you, please leave a comment below. Share your perspective, your theories, or any strange encounter you have experienced. Who knows? Perhaps you will be the one to continue the quest for answers to this mysterious gateway. And if you still hunger for more, for lost civilizations, signals from the cosmos, and phenomena no one can explain, don't forget to follow World of Ancient Mysteries. We will return with bigger questions, deeper mysteries, and journeys with no map. Have a peaceful night. And remember, there are places you cannot see, but they are still watching the footsteps of humankind. See you again.